Hello everyone, I'm Anya, and today we are reviewing the anime My Isekai Life. Put likes and subscribe, my kittens. And let's go!
This young man is named Yuji, an office worker who travels to another world and becomes a monster tamer, gaining supreme power of fighting, and the skills acquired by his pet, the slime, can also be transferred to him. He encounters an accident when he just arrived in the otherworldly world. Thousands of monsters coming out of the forest attack the town where he is. The mayor suggests the adventurers of the guild retreating as soon as possible, but all of them are willing to stay in the town to defend against the monsters. When they see the countless monsters, they fall desperate. Just then, Yuji takes out a piece of the dragon bones, indicating that this bone can cast a flame magic of the dragons to help the city get out of the trouble. But others don't believe it until one of the adventurers recognizes the slime next to Yuji, which is said to be able to shoot fireballs. He gains confidence instantly. Gradually, the adventurers assemble under Yuji's commands. They attack the monsters in the distance with grenades at first, and then take out their weapons to have a fierce close combat with the nearing monsters. When the adventurers are fighting hard, Yuji turns on his system and there are countless spells for him to choose. At this point, Yuji's companion, an elf named Drelder, tells him that she found the magician, the leader of the monsters. So Yuji immediately commands his slimes to control the magician, and he then breaks the crystal used to summon monsters. The magician realizes his failure and decides to end his life instantly, so Yuji cannot capture him. Because the crystal was broken, the number of the monsters can't increase anymore, but the adventurers still cannot resist the existing monsters. At the critical moment, Yuji sends some slimes to the battlefield with the teleportation spell. The slimes eliminate all the monsters with various spells. After defeating these monsters, Yuji asks the maid to inform all the adventurers of retreating back to the city. Some slower adventurers get into another battle. Seeing this, Yuji then sends the White Wolf to defeat the monsters and take those adventurers back to the city. Then, Yuji surrounds the town with a magic barrier and works a high-level magic, the ultimate hellfire. The monsters are all burned down under the horrible spell. Only a few high-level monsters are still alive. Yuji's magic power is already exhausted after casting such a widespread spell, but he decides to exchange his health power for magic power. Though it will cause harm to himself, he has to work the ultimate hellfire again to protect the city. Finally, the monsters are all wiped out. Yuji then falls asleep. After sleeping, he recovers a lot, and other adventurers found a mark of a mysterious organization on the dead magician. Late at night, Yuji takes his pets onto the journey. He plans to investigate the mysterious organization for protecting the city. Meanwhile, in the deep of the forest, a group of bandits are secretly discussing a conspiracy. Afterwards, Yuji comes to register at the Adventurers Guild in another city. Because Yuji masters the scouting skill, which can dramatically reduce the casualties of the team, he soon receives an invitation from other adventurers. This is a team of 3 with a swordsman, a female archer, and a female gunfighter. The 2 girls look like novices, and the swordsman has bad reputation. It is said that his teammates are either missing or running away, but Yuji accepts his invitation without hesitation. With such supreme strength, he gives no concerns about who he teams up with. Their mission is to find the trace of a high-level monster, Geosaurus. As an inefficient fighting monster tamer, he masters scouting skills, so he is responsible for scouting and does not need to fight. Yuji asks the White Wolf to follow behind the slimes out of caution, so that they can fight at any time when encountering danger. Unexpectedly, his pets found the huge wolves. Soon after they set out, Yuji quickly warns his teammates about the monsters in the distance. However, his teammates cannot believe he can scout such a wide range until they meet the huge wolves. Luckily, these wolves do not cause troubles to the team. At night, they camp by a less inhabited river. The 2 girls are interested in Yuji and his pets, so they talk a bit more. Yuji is good at scouting, and unlike other monster tamers who take pets as slaves, he treats his pets more like his companions. Suddenly, the swordsman interrupts them and reminds them of having a rest soon to replenish their energy. Afterwards, Yuji is woken up by his pets. Finding his teammates are all missing, he sends the slimes to track them, and they discover that the swordsman left the camp to the bandits' base secretly. The 2 girls were worried, so they followed him quietly. It turns out that the swordsman made a deal with the bandits. He induces the low-level adventurers to form a team, and the bandits will capture the adventurers to sell at a high price. The 2 girls are excellent praise. The leader of the bandits believes a legend that a disaster will strike when the moon turns blue, so he plans to take actions on these 2 girls immediately. The invisible slimes happen to hear about everything, and they quickly tells Yuji about this. Just when the girls are about to be captured, the slimes and the White Wolf hurriedly combine to become a monster, which makes the bandits too scared to attack. Afterwards, Yuji finds the range-freezing magic in his magic bank, and he makes a long-range casting through the slimes to freeze the bandits' base. At this moment, the moon is gradually changing to blue. Because of what happened, the girls didn't have a good rest, so Yuji sends the slime to build the camp again for them to rest. After that, Yuji and the two girls continue their mission to find the Geosaurus. Before they reach the valley, they have to cross a forest full of monsters. Yuji is not worried at all. He had amazed the examiners and other adventurers in the test when he just joined the Adventurers Guild. Each tester should test their magic power through a testing crystal. When he just used his power, the crystal got broken. Then, he cast a fireball spell without chanting the incantation. He did not know it is a high-level magic skill, and thought he made a mistake. He hurriedly chanted. As a result, it melted the whole stone. In order to avoid exposing his superpower, Yuji starts training the slimes to attack with weak magics. Even so, he still kills all monsters in the forest easily, which gets the girls' admiration. Just then, the sky turns purple. A huge blue dragon flies up in the sky. The girls sense the danger and dodge with Yuji. At this moment, a strong wind suddenly blows through the valley, and the Geosaurus they are looking for appears. As the wind-blown sand blocks the girls' views, Yuji kills the Geosaurus in one shot with his unique skill, the ultimate Hellfire. The girls do not know how powerful Yuji is. They think he exploded the minerals in the valley to kill the Geosaurus. When they go back to the guild, the receiver gets shocked because the team killed the Geosaurus, but their mission is just to find the Geosaurus. The general of the kingdom notices Yuji's strength, takes Yuji to a secret meeting where only powerful men can participate to discuss how to deal with the blue dragon out of nowhere. In the legend, the blue dragon is the most terrifying mythical monster. It can destroy a whole land within 3 days. Only God's envoy can defeat it. Now, the blue dragon is growing stronger as the sky changes. At this rate, the kingdom will be destroyed, like the land in the legend, in 3 days. So the general immediately decides to defeat it before it grows to its hugest size. At night, a priest of a church finds Yuji and gives him an artifact secretly, a seemingly common dagger. No one knows the value of this dagger in the church, but as the sage, Yuji knows it is a real artifact. He takes the dagger to the forest alone and intends to fight with the powerful blue dragon. He takes out the dagger, which can gather magic power, focusing the large-range attacking spells on one point. Then he jumps to the midair by stepping on the magic shield made by the spell, stabbing the blue dragon's eye with the dagger and casting the gathered hellfire. The blue dragon is badly injured and falls to the ground vertically. To Yuji's surprise, this shot did not kill it, but now he has few magic power left. Attacking is the best defense. Facing the blue dragon's fierce attacking, Yuji shoots it down from the sky with a thunder and lightning spell. Then Yuji rides the white wolf and rushes to the falling blue dragon, stabbing in its neck. The hellfire bursts out from the blade and chops off the dragon's head in an instant. Yuji defeats the strong blue dragon and defuses a terrifying disaster. He does not tell anyone about it and just leaves the city quietly to go on his next journey. When Yuji passes by the land covered with the blue dragon's blood, he finds there are red and blue mushrooms growing on it. The elf tells him that these are the essential ingredients for potions. The red mushrooms can make the magic replenished potions, and the blue ones can create potions which turn the user's magic power level back to 10 minutes ago. Yuji feels his magic power is often not enough for his use, so he immediately sends the slimes to pick up all the mushrooms to make potions for him. Then Yuji continues his journey. He arrives in a village full of white mists. Halfway, the villagers here look so unnatural with fake smiles. Yuji does not stay here for too long and quickly goes to next city. It is said that there is a good restaurant, but he does not expect that the weather in the city is different from that in other cities. This city snows heavily when other cities are still in summer. Heavy snow cannot stop Yuji's desire for delicious food, but when he gets to the restaurant, he is told that the chef can't cook due to the lack of firewood. Compared to killing the blue dragon, chopping some firewood is just a piece of cake for Yuji. He summons a magic axe and cuts down a whole row of trees in an instant. Besides, Yuji asks the slimes to cast water-sucked spell to make the firewood most suitable for burning. The chef is shocked by the piled-high firewood. He then made a delicious steak for Yuji. It is the best meal he has ever had since he traveled to this world. The chef tells Yuji that the stew he makes is even more delicious. But the firewood in the city is already not enough for heating, so it is not appropriate to waste a lot of firewood for the stew. Hearing that, Yuji quickly finds the Adventurers Guild in the city and takes over all the missions of chopping firewood. With Yuji's help, piles of firewood are collected in the city, which can last for several days. The chef happily makes stew for Yuji and also gives delicious food to his pets. This stew is far more delicious than Yuji's expectation. But the chef says it is not the perfect stew, because the farm used to grow one of the most important ingredients is surrounded by the monsters. In order to eat the perfect stew, Yuji begins to eliminate the monsters near the farm. During the fight, Yuji coincidentally finds a magic stone, which can absorb the magic power around and attract other monsters. Lacking magic power will lead to low temperature, which may be the cause of the city's heavy snow. Yuji thinks it is placed by humans, so he carefully searches areas nearby and finds a hidden passage under the ground. Yuji walks into the passage. He finds that there is a manufacturing facility hidden, which means some people are mass-producing the magic stones and they turn out to be the villagers with fake smiles that he met before. Because the passage is so long and spacious, Yuji sends the slimes to search around and keeps them invisible. Finally, Yuji figures out everything. This passage leads to the fake smiling people's village. They turn out to be not the real villagers, but a group of heretics. Their heresy is called Saving the Blue Moon. And the culprits causing the monsters to surround the city is from this heresy. Yuji cannot stand them harming the world, so he immediately sends the slimes to collect all the books, gold as well as jewelries hidden in the village and capture the left alone heretics. But these heretics all take poisons to end their lives after they got captured. It is too late when the leader of these heretics noticed the situation, but he has a card. When all the heretics in the village die, the super bomb he set before will explode. The leader realizes that he is no match for Yuji, so he decides to end his life with remaining heretics to explode the bomb and die with Yuji. Facing the terrible explosion, Yuji combines all the defense magics he masters to create an unbreakable barrier and blocks the blast. People in the city misunderstands that the sound is from a meteorite falling. They even think the rising temperature is also caused by the falling meteorite, but in fact it is because the magic stone is missing. As the weather warms up, the city holds a great celebration, and Yuji finally has the perfect stew as he wishes. The good taste makes Yuji satisfied. Afterwards, Yuji checks the collected information of heresy. However, it is written with special ink, and once it is open, the words will disappear. Only a list of assassination left. The last name on the list is Yuji. The heretic in charge of assassination is a sexy female assassin and a white-hair swordsman. In order not to bring trouble to other people, the targeted Yuji left the city soon. Though his name is on the list, he is still in the observation period, which means the assassins will observe him for some days before taking actions. If the target is worth assassinating, they will kill him, otherwise they will remove his name. It is not difficult for Yuji to kill the assassins, but it will definitely cause many troubles. Therefore, Yuji asks the invisible slimes to follow the two assassins while he acts all the way like he poses no threat at all. When he enters next town, he pretends to have no money for the bill, so the craftsman's apprentice evicted him. Then he pretends to be scared by the hooligan and kneels down to apologize. At last, he asks the slimes to collect money on the street for daily use. These smokescreens make the assassins take Yuji as a weak adventurer. In order to make his persona more convincing, Yuji deliberately takes the easy task of clearing the buffaloes. He asks the white wolf to pretend to fight with the buffaloes hard for many rounds and to win with difficulty. Seeing this, the assassins confirm that Yuji causes no threat and soon report it to their leader. Yuji then gets removed from the assassination list. Soon after, the leader gives a new order to kill the church's priest. Yuji gets this information from the slimes. He freezes the assassins into ice in passing, temporarily resolving the crisis of the priest. Afterwards, Yuji comes to the craftsman's shop, but the apprentice is still about to turn him away. This time Yuji does not need to pretend to be poor. The craftsman has great power of observation, and he tells that Yuji and his pets are not common. Even so, the craftsman does not promise to make equipment for Yuji, because the craftsman does not have suitable materials to make equipment to match their supreme strength. The equipment needs the dragon ball of the small blue dragon to withstand Yuji's magic power. There is a volcano near this city where many small fire dragons live. Some of them are the variant elite small fire dragons with blue skins, which are the small blue dragons Yuji needs. The small fire dragons are not difficult to handle with the water spells, but the small blue dragons are not so easy to deal with. Normal water spells cannot pose threats to them, so their dragon balls are rare. But the monster of such level is just a piece of cake for Yuji. He kills them with the highest level ice magic, and takes the dragon ball. When the craftsman gets it, he makes a set of equipment overnight. Yuji asks the white wolf and the slimes to put on the equipment, and their strength, speed and power enhance a lot in an instant. Besides, this supreme equipment can strengthen the effect of magic. But soon, the craftsman notices a problem. If Yuji uses powerful magic, the loss of the equipment will increase. and an upgraded equipment needs the Dragon Ball of the huge fire dragon, the owner of the volcano. It usually lurks in the magma and is hard to find. Coincidentally, at night, there is a sudden and strange movement in the volcano. Every creature becomes antsy, just like how it was when the monsters surrounded the city, and the volcano erupts with lots of magma coming out. The legendary huge fire dragon appears in the firelight. Yuji sends the slimes to check the volcano. On their way, they meet two men carrying the barrels. It is so strange that they are walking towards the volcano when everyone else is fleeing. Yuji asks the slimes to trap them with magic. Unexpectedly, they kill themselves with poisons. Obviously, they are also the believers. The barrels they carried contain the water of curse, which irritates the huge fire dragon more easily than ordinary water. It seems that the huge fire dragon's sudden appearance is not an accident. Just then, it rains. The residents of the city start to evacuate, because it will be dangerous to stay in the city when the huge fire dragon in the rain becomes extremely irritable. In order to stop the dragon from destroying the city, Yuji decides to fight against it. Along the dragon's way, there are several rivers. Yuji intends to stop it with the water in the rivers, but the heat of the dragon boils the first river to evaporate. Thus it doesn't stop the dragon at all. Yuji then asks his pets to attack the dragon with ice magic, but the dragon breaks the ice easily, breathing fire to resist the ice magic. Soon the dragon steps into the second river. Though the river can't stop it, Yuji has prepared already. He reserves the water upstream for the dragons coming. A huge amount of water rushes out and directly knocks the dragon down, but it quickly stands up again. It seems that they can't defeat the dragon with water only. Yuji must attack it with magic from the front. At this moment, the slimes use the magic equipment to cause tremendous magic effects on the dragon. The dragon's flames are instantly repelled by the enhanced ice magic as its body gets frozen and shattered. Yuji gets the Dragon Ball of the huge fire dragon, asking the craftsman to create the strongest equipment. At the same time, he notices a rainfall machine, which seems to be used by saving the blue moon to anchor the huge fire dragon deliberately. As the equipment is completed, Yuji puts it on and heads to the place of creating the rainfall machine, which must be the base of saving the blue moon. Yuji comes near the base of saving the blue moon where he happens to meet an acquaintance who turns to be the priest that gave him the dagger before. The priest tells Yuji that saving the blue moon is actually an organization that he founded when he was young. At the beginning, he just founded it in memory of his sacrificed comrades. But there was a rabid believer, Walter, usurping the leader's power and changing it into a heresy with the intention to destroy the world. So the priest decides to deal with Walter by himself. But the priest doesn't tell Yuji about the church's prediction that the sage will show up when the director dies. The priest thinks Yuji will become the sage after he dies. The priest has defeated most of the believers, but Walter has a trap set for the priest. It turns out that the priest's disciple is a spy from saving the blue moon. The priest gets ambushed and becomes a prisoner. Just then, Yuji finally arrives. He sets the priest free and is ready to fight against saving the blue moon. Walter sends his monster believers to attack Yuji, while he himself comes to the secret room, strengthening his power with the magic circle. Yuji easily kills all the believers and comes to Walter. With his power enhanced, Walter becomes a monster with wings so that he can dodge the slime's magics with a high speed. Yuji quickly asks his pets to put on the supreme equipment to attack Walter. With this enhanced equipment, Yuji's pets can move faster than Walter. Under their attacks, Walter gets seriously injured, but he can heal himself by sucking the believers and transforming them into his energy. Walter can't be defeated unless he gets incurable injuries. So Yuji asks the slimes to trap Walter with magic, completely defeating him with the ultimate hellfire. But the priest smells a rat. He doesn't die as the prediction said. Instead, Walter dies. Meanwhile, a magic circle lights around them, and all the believers including Walter are sucked away, turning into a powerful magician, the sage. It means that the director in the church's prediction is not the priest but Walter. And Yuji is not the sage in the legend. The most terrifying thing is that the sage is not of justice. As he shows up, he suddenly attacks Yuji with the same ultimate hellfire. Yuji resists it and asks the slimes to attack, but causing no harm to the sage. It seems the sage has endless magic power, constantly attacking Yuji with high-level magic. Yuji can only resist it with the same magic. They cast the horrible flames at the same time. As a result, with stronger magic power, Yuji pushes the flames to the sage. But as the flames fades away, the sage stands still, safe and sound. Then he casts more horrible magics, turning the prepared potions to be the rain. When the monsters in various places are drenched with the rain, they all become crazy and begin to attack human cities. which turns out to be the plan of saving the Blue Moon. They'll destroy the entire world using the sage and the monsters. Meanwhile, knowing that Yuji is fighting against the strongest enemy, the heroes all around the world join the war. Yuji is inspired by everyone's determination, thinking how to defeat the strongest enemy so far. Just then, the priest reminds Yuji to cast a powerful magic named the Wrath of God when the sun and the moon meet. It's the time now. Yuji jumps into the air and successfully casts the magic as the priest said. The sage is knocked down by a powerful lightning, but it doesn't kill him. Seeing that it is not powerful enough, Yuji takes out the dagger to gather more magic power and plans to cast the Wrath of God with the dagger to attack the sage. The sage also attacks Yuji with the strongest magic. Yuji worries their magic would cause a horrible disaster, so he covers themselves with a defense barrier. Then, he casts the Wrath of God with the dagger. With a loud bang, the sage is completely defeated, and Yuji finally saves the world. All the cities hold parties to celebrate this victory. Instead of joining the celebration, Yuji keeps on his journey alone. As for saving the Blue Moon, though had major failure, it is not disbanded. Instead, it is preparing a conspiracy secretly. There are still terrible monsters lurking around the world, so Yuji has to face various challenges. After overcoming so many difficulties, Yuji's name is spreading over the world, though he wants to live a low-key life. People call him the Just Sage, and the strongest monster's tamer, Yuji. The story ends here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support will be so essential for me. See you next time.